Hi everyone, Irene here. Thank you for joining me for one of my favorite topics, staging. Staging vacant house has helped me tremendously from getting listing as a brand new agent to sell the listing that previously expired to recently I've sold $30,000 more for my investment property. It's all because of staging. Come to think about it that I've sold all the houses that I've staged except one. That was lesson learned. I will talk about it a little bit later in this video. So let me put my makeup on, then we can get started. I was kidding, I don't wear makeup. So let's get started. I've always had a thing for staging that goes way back before I even get into real estate business. I was addicted to those HGTV shows since I wasn't even speaking English. I was just obsessed for watching how those houses turned out so beautifully after remodeled and staged. I dreamed one day I become a stager or interior designer to design a dream home for my client. Fast forward today, that didn't happen. I become a real estate agent as well as investing in real estate. But my passion for staging definitely helped me achieve my goal faster. When I just started early 2019, one day I went to a listing appointment. Earlier that day, I called the homeowner and somehow I convinced them to meet me at that night. And it turned out they were interviewing agents to list their home. I didn't know how many agents they interviewed. I knew there was one before me and one after me. After walk through the house, which by the way, it was a vacant house, I gave them my elevator pitch. Within 30 seconds, I know they liked me. All I said was the house needs some cosmetic work, but it's vacant and clean. So what I would do is I will staging your house with no cost from your end. Staging will give the house a new look. It will look good both on photo online and in-person visit, and buyer could see the potential of the house. I was 100% sure I was the only one talk about staging their home and spend my own money to do it. I know in other part of the world, staging is a thing for every house, but it's not in South Brooklyn. No one stage house unless it's a new build. I was new, my goal was to do whatever it takes to get listings. Sure enough, I got that listing. So I hired a stager, spent $2,500 to stage the home. This is what it looked like before and after. My logic is, if I cannot sell the house looking like this, how could anyone sell a house that looks like this? And it proved that $2,500 staging investment was well worth it. I eventually sold their house and they were so happy and referred their friend to me, and their friend listed their house with me, and I eventually sold that house for $1.6 million. My logic works. When the homeowner sees you go extra mile to helping them sell their house, they are less likely to list the house with somebody else if the listing ever goes expired. That's what happened to my other listing that was a little bit overpriced. Even though it was beautifully staged, but we didn't get it sold within a great term. It was 2 months agreement, then extended to another 3 months, and we still didn't get sold. So it expired again. But the homeowner said, you know what? I don't need to look for other agents. If you cannot sell it, I don't think anyone can. So basically, I have that listing forever until it gets sold. So eventually, I get that house sold after he dropped the price. But it didn't stop there. He listed his other house with me and bought a house with me as well. So one client, I made 3 transactions. It all started from I staged his first house. I said this before. I love staging. I always love staging, but I didn't have a time to learn it. Then here comes quarantine. All of a sudden, if we have to stay at home for God knows how long, all we had was nothing but time. I got still this footage from my classmate.
I have time again.
Yes, I have a time now, so I took advantage and signed up an online course for staging training. 3 weeks later, I got my certification. Certified home stager and redesigner. From Home Staging Resource, I linked their website below. If you want to become a stager or want to learn how to run a staging business, you can check them out. I loved it. Since I got nowhere to go, I started staging my home. Put different pillows in the same couch, set up a sitting area for that corner, which absolutely no one sits there. No one needs to sit there. Speaking about no one sits there, Let me sit here, make this chair less useless. I want to learn staging. It's not only because I want to stage my listings, it's also for my investment business. I'm an investor, I flip houses. I want to stage every house I flipped, so make that house the most beautiful one in that neighborhood. By the way, during the quarantine, I also learned how to make videos, how to edit video like this one, something I never thought I could be able to do it or even had the time to learn it. Just by looking at it, it looks so complicated and foreign to me. Thanks for quarantine, I got a chance to learn all those skills. I am so happy right now. I got still another footage from my classmate.
So when life stresses you out and gives you lemons, challenge yourself to do your best and make lemonade.
Now back to staging. Fast forward to September, my second investment property just finished renovation. During the renovation, I already thinking about how to design the house and had some idea what I want to do. I started shopping for home decor, furniture stuff when the house was still look like in a war zone. I just couldn't wait for it to finish. For me, the most exciting parts for flipping houses are: one is when we get great deal. Two is when it finish, I got to design the look and sell it. So I spent $6,000 for staging, that including furniture, home decor, and stager fee. This is the video I made, what it looked like before and after. So I got a multiple offer on the first open house and accept the highest bid and got into contract within 2 weeks. So I eventually sold for $685,000, $30,000 more than the first one I sold a couple months ago. It was a similar house in the same neighborhood, but I didn't stage that one because it was close to shut down. I just want to hit on the market sooner rather than later, but I regret it. That's why I told myself that I will stage every single house that I flipped, no matter what. Because one, the $6,000 investment, you get $30,000 more, is well worth it. Two, it's satisfying my staging passion. Now it comes to not so successful story. I did fail to sell one house that I staged. The house was very, very old, even though it's vacant and the homeowner cleaned the first and second floor, but it was so run down and the basement was horrible. It's not only messy, dirty, smelly, but it needed complete gutted renovation. After the owner interviewed a few agents, they picked me. They trust me so much that I didn't want to disappoint them. After a few months on the market, it didn't get any attraction, and they didn't want to drop the price either. So I volunteered to offer my staging service at no cost from their end, like I always do, because there was no way I can sell the price they want with the house look like this, so old, so dated, which they didn't think the same way. Funny thing about seller and buyer, they look the same house differently. For seller, they think their house is perfect, in moving condition, worth all the money in the world. For buyer, the same house, they feel like it needs tons of work. It's gonna collapse, overpriced. It's funny, it's always like that. So I was thinking, if I stage one floor, make this floor so impressive, and also showing this floor first, that might be offset a little bit of the amount of the work need to be done. I was so wrong. I spent the whole day make the second floor look decent, and I was pretty satisfied. But only to find out that makes the buyer even more disappointed when they went to the basement. So for 10 months, even we dropped the price a few times, no one offered even close to asking price. No one cared about the staging because it cannot disguise the house was so beat up. So lesson learned. Do not staging overpriced and rundown properties. They need a renovation, not a staging. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in next video.